Have you ever heard the expression, Rome wasn't built in a day? This means that the most important and lasting things take effort and time to achieve. What you desire must be built piece by piece, day after day. The elements with which you build your personal and financial life, for better or worse, are your daily habits. Therefore, if you cultivate positive habits, they will drive your success. Otherwise, they will act as obstacles in your development. Albert Einstein used to say that always doing the same thing and expecting different results is a mistake. Therefore, I invite you to watch this video and have the opportunity to identify each of the habits that are hindering your financial development and change them definitively once and for all to achieve the results you want in your life. Are you ready? Let's get started. You live beyond your means. Many people complain that money is not enough, but they never wonder how they are spending to maintain the lifestyle they have. Let's be realistic and adjust our life to our current situation, at least temporarily, until we can get higher income. Many people make expenses they can't afford. They buy designer clothes, have unnecessary services, a lifestyle they can't afford, just to appear to have a standard of living that doesn't match their income. This habit seriously affects your finances. Avoid it, as it is consuming your money and your future. 2, you don't have a budget or control over your spending. There's a well-known saying in the business world that says, if you can't measure, you can't control. This refers to the fact that if you don't monitor something, you may have unpleasant surprises later. The same thing happens with spending. People spend uncontrollably. The end of the month arrives, and when it comes to facing their commitments, they don't have enough money to cover them. Thus, they begin to fall into another additional problem, paying with a credit card for their expenses and basic needs, incurring unnecessary financial costs. Therefore, it is important that you keep track of your expenses, at least weekly or monthly. This way, you will see where your money is going and what expenses you can do without to improve your economic situation. Prepare this budget aligned with your goals and maintain the discipline to fulfill it. 3, you don't spend time reading. Did you know that Warren Buffett spends 5 hours a day reading and Bill Gates between 1 to 2 hours a day? It is no coincidence that among the richest men in the world, the habit of reading is very common. Reading is important because it strengthens your brain muscle. It is the mental exercise par excellence. In addition, it develops your cognitive skills, expands your mind with new knowledge, awakens creativity, and improves your level of communication. If you don't have this habit in your daily routine, think about the benefits you are missing out on, the knowledge you are failing to acquire. I know it's hard to start this habit, so start with simple readings and topics that you like best. You can start 1 page a day before bed or when you wake up. Once you have established the habit, start with more complex and valuable readings for you. I assure you that you will notice a growth in your way of thinking. 4, you watch a lot of television or social media. Did you know that television is called the idiot box? It's easy to understand why, as it can capture people's attention for a long time and usually without offering any value at all. Fortunately, people are watching less television. However, nowadays, the same problem has shifted to the internet and social media. Avoid this habit as much as possible because these activities keep you in a state of passivity and comfort that lead to nothing productive. I'm definitely not telling you to give up this completely, but have a very controlled use, just to consume valuable content or for some brief moment of distraction. 5, you surround yourself with people who don't add value to you. It is said that whoever walks with eagles learns to fly. This means that you acquire the skills and characteristics of the people or the environment that surrounds you, for better or for worse. Be very careful with the environment and the people you spend most of your time with. We are social beings by nature, and when we are in a social environment, we adapt our behavior and attitudes to it. If you engage in a conformist, negative, wasteful, and undisciplined life with your finances, how do you think you will end up? It is no coincidence that the United States, the most developed country in the world, has the largest number of millionaires on the planet, and that Elon Musk traveled from his native South Africa to this country in search of opportunities, where he finally became one of the richest people on the planet. It is an undeniable truth that if the environment around you is adequate, it can give you advantages, opportunities, and enhance your success, which in other circumstances you would not obtain. However, a negative environment will give you disadvantages and hinder your success. 6, you don't seek to continuously improve or seek your personal growth. Continuous improvement, the Japanese call it Kaizen. With this philosophy, they led the company Toyota to become one of the largest manufacturers in the world. Continuous improvement consists of making small changes daily that can produce significant changes in the long run. Don't make drastic changes to your routine because your mind will reject it. Make gradual changes. The important thing is that each day you develop a little more. If you improve 1% every day, you will be a completely different person in a few months. 7. You don't educate yourself financially. If we want to achieve financial freedom or wealth, it is important that you always seek and develop your financial skills, because this will help you manage your money better. Know how to conserve it, what and how to invest it. Also know the risks involved. You will be able to differentiate between an asset and a liability, and learn that the best way to generate wealth is to accumulate assets that generate value. We hear many stories of people who won the lottery or celebrities who earned millions and in a short time lost everything. This is due to their lack of financial education and the ignorance that the main source of wealth for millionaires is not their money, but their ability to generate it. If you are looking to change your financial situation, this habit is one of the most important. It is the main difference between poor and rich people. Contrary to what you might imagine, it's not just about money, but also about the mindset you cultivate. Remember, people's poverty is not only in their pockets, but also in their way of thinking, in their mentality. Therefore, educate yourself constantly. Before continuing, if this knowledge is being useful to you, I invite you to like and subscribe so that you receive more content. Now, let's continue. I8. You don't cultivate the habit of saving. Many people recommend that you invest, but they don't say that. In order to do that, the first thing you need to develop is your ability to save. Health and investment are two sides of the same coin in finance. If you want to invest, the first habit you must develop is saving and thus accumulating capital for your investments. Saving is the first step to changing your financial future and achieving a radical change for the economic well-being you want in your life. Don't waste money, save it. In a previous video, I talked about the 50-30-20 savings technique. It is a very simple tool, but at the same time, very effective. Later, you can watch the video to put it into practice. It consists of allocating 50% of your income to your basic needs, 30% to your desires and tastes, and 20% to your savings. As soon as you receive income, separate your spending first and only then use the balance for your expenses. 9. You don't take care of your physical health or your diet. There are people who take care of their vehicles, taking them for routine maintenance, putting in the best oil, the best replacements. But when they get to the mechanic, while waiting for the car, they buy a Coke and a hamburger, accompanied by a good dose of chips. In other words, they take more care of their material things than their most precious asset, their health. Material things, some will cost more, others less, but you can get them again. However, assets like your health or your time, you can never get back. They are the most valuable thing we have, but we give little importance. Preserve your health, because not doing so will lead to diseases that can mean your financial ruin. Have good habits. Take care of your diet, your sleep hours, and establish an exercise routine. It is proven that a better state of physical health leads to a better state in your mental health and improves your self-esteem. 10. You don't set goals. If you don't know where you want to go, you'll never know which way to go. So don't let the routine consume you. Clearly establish what you want to achieve, the prosperity you want to obtain, particularly in the financial aspect. You must establish precisely what you want, establishing weekly, monthly, or quarterly goals. For example, if you want to buy a car, determine precisely the make, model, price, even the color you want. Having this clear, you will be able to set realistic goals in terms of time and how much you should save to achieve it. Don't just leave your dreams as dreams, nor let them drift. People who have achieved success started with a goal and did not rest until they reached it. 9. You have a negative and pessimistic attitude. Did you know about the existence of mirror neurons? These are neurons that are activated when we do or see someone do something, and, according to science, can influence our actions and emotions. Therefore, avoid negative or pessimistic thoughts, and do not surround yourself with people with this mentality or conformists, because they will influence you. Develop a positive attitude towards money and your personal growth. This will improve your mood to continue developing. Focus on the positive side of situations. Look for opportunities in problems. This is very characteristic of entrepreneurial and successful people. Remember this formula, although empirical, very certain. Your personal value is equal to the sum of your knowledge plus your skill, and all this multiplied by your attitude. It means that knowledge and your skill add your personal value, but your attitude multiplies it. Knowledge and skill are not enough to be successful. People who have achieved the greatest financial success have developed a positive mental attitude towards wealth and their personal development. 12. You have no discipline and procrastinate constantly. This is a very common mistake. In everyone, we set ourselves goals of some savings goal or we promise not to incur unnecessary expenses. However, in a short time, we fall back into the same habits or postpone the actions we must take to improve our current situation. If you do not develop your discipline, not only will you not succeed with your finances, but in your personal life in general. It is important that you avoid falling into immediate gratification, because this will affect the achievement of your goals and objectives. Short-term gains are easier but less lasting. Really important goals require effort and discipline. This is a bad habit that is difficult to break, but make the effort and set clear goals. Break them down into smaller tasks to make them simpler. Then set a time and prioritize, eliminating all distractions. Often people's financial success is due to the discipline and consistency with which they faced day after day the path to achieving their goals. Your success is the accumulation of small victories with your habits in your daily life. 13. You are afraid of risk and avoid taking action. According to the dictionary, the opposite of success is failure. However, the most successful people in the world are the ones who have had the most failures throughout their lives. For me, the opposite of success is not failure, but inaction, not acting out of fear of risk or what others will say. Financially, risk is defined as the probability of losing or winning. Hence the phrase, whoever doesn't risk doesn't peck. That is, if you want to have greater success, you will have to risk more. The more failures, the greater the probability of achieving the success you expect. And if you learn from it and continue, the time will come when you will inevitably achieve it. With inaction for fear of failure, you will always have the certainty and security that you will never achieve financial success. Don't let fear paralyze you. Unfortunately, we have ingrained in our minds that failure is an obstacle to our success. However, we must understand that failure is part of the process of the path to success. 14. You are not looking to diversify and earn new income. Some people, when asked about money, say that it is not important and that the most important thing is family. I agree that family is the most important thing. However, these people spend 8 to 10 hours a day working and trading their valuable time for money, spend most of their lives dedicated to it, and leave only time to dedicate to their families. Don't get used to selling your time for money. Look for, in parallel with your current job, other additional alternatives that can generate passive income. It is very dangerous to depend on a single source of income. You could lose your job and not be able to adequately meet your basic needs. Money is important, so don't settle for what you have. There are many alternatives to generate additional income. Maybe you have some knowledge or skill that you can sell through courses, consulting, or dedicate yourself to e-commerce, even create content on social networks. Currently, there are many opportunities that you could take advantage of. 15. You don't value your greatest asset, your time. It is important that we value our time, because it is our most precious asset. It is an asset that, with each passing day, decreases, and if we do not use it wisely, we will be wasting it forever. Learn to say no, and you will realize how you will start to get your time back. Say no to people who don't add value to you, to activities that don't add to your life, and to anything that distracts you and takes you away from your goals. Invest your time in developing your personal and financial skills, and, in the medium term, you will see the changes you will achieve in your life. Many times, without realizing it, we let ourselves be absorbed by the routine, and we go from one activity to another, and so on, without asking ourselves about their importance and the impact that these actions will have to achieve our personal and financial goals. Now that you know these habits that prevent you from reaching your maximum personal and financial potential, I hope you analyze your particular situation and take action on those that you need to improve. We all have a different path, a different process. However, the goal is one: to reach the best version of ourselves for our own benefit and that of others. Don't let fear paralyze you. Act today. You can start a different life for yourself. If you do this from now on, a better financial future awaits you. Comment your ideas about the topic. I also leave some recommended videos. Thank you for your invested time. Until